Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here. And welcome to the greatest superhero show on the planet. If my voice sounds croaky, you're going to have to excuse it because we've got a lot to talk about. Could Ryan Reynolds reprise his role as Green Lantern? What does the success of Aquaman mean as it's been projected to clear $1 billion by the end of its run? And what does it mean for the DCEU? We're going to talk about the power struggle between Disney and Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige and what this could mean for Kevin Feige in 2019. I think it means he could step down, but I will talk about that. We're going to talk about all the superhero films in 2018. So let's talk about what's gone. What have we had this year? Has it worked out? So basically, in 2018, we had Ant-Man and the Wasp. One of the most hilarious things about this film is in one of the posters when the Wasp is standing in front of Ant-Man. Now, this is a very passive-aggressive film, and Disney really did force in that SJW agenda. What can I say about this film? This is a very average, generic, solid film. It's not bad. It's not good. It's entertaining. It's okay. But I think Marvel and Disney made a big mistake here. This film should not have been the final MCU film of the year. It should have been this film first, then Infinity War. I don't understand what they thought they were doing. You know, you've given us this major, epic, climactic, series finale, if you like, from the MCU. Then you're giving us Ant-Man and the Wasp. Well, for me, that's underwhelming, and that doesn't work. You don't come in with an epic season finale, then give us... I mean, what is Ant-Man and the Wasp? It's not even a season premiere because it's set just after Civil War. So it doesn't make sense to me. So for me, that was an okay film. Of course, we had Infinity War, the most successful superhero film of 2018, and it deserves its success. This is the climactic episode of this franchise, and it gives you everything you want. It's overwhelming, not underwhelming. It works. As someone who, if you're a big MCU fan, you would have loved this film. If you're someone coming in cold, you still would have enjoyed it. But I don't think you could call it a great film. It's a great kind of finale for this chapter of this franchise. But as a great film in its own right, I don't know if you'd go that far. Thanos is amazing. He's the best villain the MCU have ever given us. Not that that's difficult to do because their villains have been very disappointing. But it's a fantastic climax to this kind of, season one of the MCU, right? Then you had Black Panther, who did really well, reached over $1 billion globally. Black Panther is a really good film. It's a good film. It is, let's be clear here, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't deserve any Oscars or anything like that, but it was a very good, enjoyable film. I loved the characters. I loved Shuri the best. Is that how you say her name? I thought she was my favourite. I really liked her. I love Black Panther. I love him as a character. The villain, Killmonger, was crap. I didn't enjoy him. I thought he was going to be very rich and something that we could have enjoyed. But slowly, by the end, he became too generic. And that was very disappointing. But in fact, as a film, I did enjoy this. But it's not one of the best MCU films. And it's certainly not one of the greatest superhero films I've ever seen. We had Venom this year. Venom got terrible reviews, but was very successful in the global box office. I really enjoyed Venom. And people went to see it for the same reason they went to see Aquaman. The women loved Tom Hardy. Hollywood are blinded to the fact of alpha male leads because they're so obsessed with gender equality, representation. So Hollywood are obsessed with that and don't appreciate the fact that actually alpha male actors and alpha male characters and superheroes actually are very important to the genre and can bring a lot of buck and a lot of butts on seats. And this is what Venom did. The bloggers really wanted to do this film down. Again, it's agenda. It's about the MCU, and it's about the MCU being propped up while every other superhero movie that's nothing to do with the MCU doesn't succeed. Well, sorry, Venom has succeeded, and there's going to be more to come from this Sony Marvel universe. And I'm really, really happy about that. So I think in terms of superhero movies this year, it's been okay. From Infinity War is high tier. Then you've got Black Panther, Deadpool 2. We've just been talking about Venom as well. I'd say for me, it's definitely Infinity War, Aquaman, then Black Panther. I know a lot of people won't agree with that. I think then it will be Deadpool 2, Venom. It's been an okay year. I don't think it's been a groundbreaking year. I mean, obviously, in box office terms, it's been fabulous. You know, over 2 billion for Infinity War, over 1 billion for Black Panther, 1 billion projected for Aquaman. You know, Venom over 800 million as well. Deadpool 2, I think, did okay. Not as good as the first Deadpool. I could be wrong. Comment down below if I'm wrong about that. So I think it's been a good year. But it's not been a Dark Knight year where you can say, wow, this is groundbreaking or anything like that. But it's been enjoyable. So what does the success of Aquaman mean for the future of the DCEU? Well, I said it all with my thoughts on Venom. Hollywood have been very, very naive in terms of alpha male characters, alpha male superheroes, played by alpha male actors. But I think with Hollywood, the studios are very reactive to its success. And like Warner Brothers have been reactive to Justice League and making these changes and bringing Walter Hamada in, I think you will get a lot more alpha male superheroes being commissioned by especially Warner Brothers and Sony. Because not only have men gravitated to Aquaman and Venom, an alpha male actor playing an alpha male character. Now, Aquaman, in his origins, in the comics and in animated series, isn't necessarily alpha male. But in this interpretation, he's very alpha male because literally they're just saying to Momoa, just play yourself here. That you don't need to pretend to be anyone else. It works this way. And I think the studios will know now. This is what, studios have always been obsessed with, trying to get men and women to the cinema to watch superhero movies. And Venom and Aquaman has really done this, and I think it's amazing. I really do. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I think so. We're going to get more alpha male superheroes played by alpha male actors, if you like, and I think you're going to hear a lot of movies greenlit in these terms in 2019. Now, the director of Deadpool 2 wants Ryan Reynolds to come back as Green Lantern. So very, very controversial, but for me, Ryan Reynolds was never the issue with Green Lantern. I actually quite like Green Lantern. Obviously, in places, it's everything what people say it is. But there's really enjoyable things in that film, and which you can't take away from its achievements, even though it didn't make the money WB wanted. It wasn't a success. It wasn't received very well. But Ryan Reynolds was one of the good things about this film. So it's quite a few years ago. You're talking about 2011, are you? So we're talking about 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We might as well just say not 8 years ago. So it's been a big space, obviously. Should he play him again? I think there's kind of something for Ryan to do here. I think because the film was a disaster in the reception he got, I think that Ryan would come back and say, this is unfinished business. I want to come back and finish off what I did. Now, if he did come back, I wouldn't have an issue with it whatsoever. I also wouldn't mind if an unknown actor came in. But I think Ryan Reynolds coming in, because what Deadpool has done for Ryan Reynolds, it's put his kind of box office stock up. So bringing in Ryan Reynolds would be massive. Now, is Ryan Reynolds receptive to playing Green Lantern again? This will be very interesting, or wouldn't he be interested? And with very soon Deadpool being owned by Disney, would they put a block on it? He'd have to choose between Deadpool and Green Lantern. So this could become very, very messy. So I think, personally, there's a big chance of Ryan playing Green Lantern again. I think he could choose Green Lantern over Deadpool. He's already been told that he's not going to be able to make a Deadpool 3, that there is a chance of this kind of team movie with Deadpool and the other characters in Deadpool 2 happening. But I don't know. I think the acquisition that Disney have made, getting Fox, I think changes everything. And the problem with Deadpool is not going to have the freedom. Ryan Reynolds been very lucky to have creative freedom with Deadpool. Disney will not give him that. They will want to integrate him within the MCU, and I think it could be problematic. He won't have the freedom. He won't be able to bring in the filmmakers he wants to bring in. So I think that could be problematic for Ryan Reynolds, and he could choose to jump on the Warner Brothers DC train. Sorry about that. I'm so unhealthy. Still smoking, I'm afraid. So, yeah, absolutely. If Ryan Reynolds was cast again to be Green Lantern, I would be more than happy with that eventuality. It's been a very interesting year for superhero movies. They're not going anywhere. They're still very, very, very popular. This year we had the 40th anniversary of Superman the movie, and that was put by Warner Brothers back in selective cinemas. I had the treat of watching it for the first time on the big screen. The first time I saw Superman the movie was on ITV back in the 80s when it premiered, which was a beautiful experience, and that's why I fell in love with Superman, and especially that version of Superman. But it was wonderful to see it in the big screen, the sound, it looked beautiful. Christopher Reeve looked amazing. Margot Kidder looked amazing. It was a beautiful experience to watch that film. Also this year we got Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. For me, a very, very clever animated film. Why didn't it challenge Aquaman? That's what everybody wants to know, because animated films do very well in this day and age. In fact, they're very important to studios. So why didn't that film do as well as people thought? I just think that Aquaman appealed to everyone, adults, children, families, men, women. So Into the Spider-Verse has been hailed as a fantastic film, and it truly is. It's a great achievement. People have called it the best Spider-Man film ever. I still think Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 are two of the best Spider-Man films ever made. I think Sam Raimi's success in that is unparalleled, but this animated effort is really, really good, and Lord and Miller have really pulled this off. So, at the end of the day, it's all about debate, but I think people are surprised that it didn't challenge Aquaman a lot more. I think people were surprised that Mary Poppins Returns and Bumblebee didn't challenge. All of them didn't challenge Aquaman. Aquaman was supposed to struggle against these films. This is what bloggers and so-called experts told us. But maybe it was wishful thinking because of their hate for the DCEU. Look, I'm a DCEU fan. I'm a big DC fan. And this is just so fantastic to see so many people triggered and upset by the success of Aquaman, because after Justice League, they thought we were finished. In we, I mean the DCEU. So what are your abiding memories of superhero movies in 2018? Have you enjoyed them? What's your favourite one? For me, the great experience has to be seeing Aquaman on the big screen. I did enjoy Infinity War. I'm going to take my DCEU hat off and say, yes, Infinity War was the best superhero film of 2018. I'm not going to lie about that. It had everything. It kept us on the edge. But my main problem with this film is it killed off a lot of characters, which was very rewarding and gave a lot of risks. And, but when you know they're all coming back in the next film, it deflates your excitement, because there is no kind of risk to what they're doing. Aquaman is my second favourite superhero film of 2018. I think it's a great achievement what James Wan was able to achieve with this film. It was written very well, and as I say, it really is as good as any MCU kind of standalone character film. But what this film did was even a bigger achievement than any of them have done, because nowadays when you see a so-called standalone MCU film, they're using one of the other characters. They're using Robert Downey Jr. or Scarlett Johansson or the Hulk or someone like that. But Warner Brothers could have been scared and they could have brought Superman on, or one of the other DCEU characters, Batman. But they didn't basically reflect any of the outer DC universe. And still, this film's making money. People are enjoying it. So I think it's a greater achievement than what Marvel have done with their kind of one-hero films, because they're one-hero films and never one-hero films. They're kind of always get-togethers. They don't seem to have faith in the one character. So it's very interesting for me. I'm as shocked as anyone by the success of Aquaman. I enjoyed it, but I never expected it to make so much money. I love superhero films, I really do, but I want to see more from them in 2019. We've got Avengers 4, we've got Shazam, and of course, the big one for me is Joker movie. I think Joker movie is going to be amazing. I think it's going to hit big critically. I think it's going to make a lot of money, and I think it's going to be the film to look out for in 2019.